One of the biggest epiphanies I've had this year, in the last maybe 10 months or so, is that human beings are essentially transceivers. Whatever you're around most often, or whoever you're around most often, you will pick up on their qualities, on their vibrations, on their levels of consciousness, if you will. I'm reading this book called Power versus Force by David Hawkins, and it goes into detail on these different levels of consciousness different people operate at, different music operates at, objects operate at, public figures, religions, etc. Everything in existence has a level of consciousness, including people. You have a level of consciousness. So oftentimes there are people that are operating at a really low level, 100 or so, and then there are those who are enlightened who are at 1,000. Maybe you're somewhere in the middle. So if you're at 400 and your buddies are at 100, you can't help but slowly be dragged down to their level. Rather than you being able to pull them up with you, more than likely they will bring you down to their level of consciousness. Okay, it's just the way it is. I found myself going out to places where I felt like I didn't belong. I didn't belong in nightclubs, nightlife, just the hustle and bustle of the party scene. The people there, quite frankly, I didn't want to be like. I didn't genuinely like their company. I didn't like who they were as people. They didn't like me. That's kind of the way party culture is. Everyone's using everyone for something, whether it's clout, sex, drugs, connections, whatever. You are simply a tool. It's very sociopathic and narcissistic and grimy. It's almost like a cesspool. Even in Toronto, if you meet someone, more than likely they've probably hooked up with at least 3 people you know. That goes towards meeting girls and stuff. And it's just everybody is intertwined with everybody. Everybody's hooking up with everybody. It's very incestuous. Drugs are huge in the scene. Cocaine, weed, molly, drinking, and not just partying once a week, but partying several times a week. And it's just lower and lower and lower consciousness. It's really just a way of coping with reality and the difficulties of life. They've found their thing, but that thing will just bring you lower. Whether it's the substance abuse, whether it's the hedonism, the degeneracy, it just brings you fucking low. And then while you're, out at these parties, you're gonna get drunk food like pizza or fucking Pop-Tarts or Pizza Pops, whatever the fuck. You're not gonna eat healthy and be motivated, and then get up early and hit the gym the next morning, and then be on top of your habits and disciplined to death. You can have one or the other. The moment you start flip-flopping between productive and high consciousness and low consciousness and degenerate and hedonistic and selfish, you're just gonna end up falling off and sticking with the low consciousness energy. It's gonna suck you in. You cannot have both. Assume there are 2 wolves inside of you. There's a good wolf and there's a bad wolf. You can feed the good one or you can feed the bad one, but there's not enough food for both. People tend to try to do both, but they realize that the party scene, hedonistic lifestyle, being gluttonous and shit like that doesn't go with self-improvement and being the best version of yourself and being on top of your shit. It just doesn't. I reached a point where staying the same was way more painful than improving and changing my life and making the necessary changes. And I just realized I'm killing myself, I'm dying here. This is a slow, painful death, a slow, painful rotting, decomposing with all these other people who couldn't give a rat's ass if I was here or not, if I was living or dead. Why am I investing so much time in this shit? And as I get older, I realize family is important, sustainability is important, values are important, habits are important. What you stand for as a man is important. Your health is important. Your financial abundance and affluence is important. Mental health is important. Why would you sacrifice all of this just in what? In hopes of hooking up or making friends with fucking cokehead promoters or something? It's not good. The only thing that comes with it is misfortune. That doesn't mean you can't improve your social life. That doesn't mean you can't socialize or do pickup or game or whatever without the party scene. And by all means, if you want to dabble in the party scene for a while and realize that it's not for you or see what it offers you, you can go ahead and do that. But don't stay there like a lot of people do. Because if you stay there, that's a road that leads nowhere. It's a dead end. And you're more than likely going to seriously fuck yourself up. And it's very hard to get out. It's like an addiction in and of itself. Hedonism never led me anywhere. Seeking short-term pleasures never led me anywhere. All it did was widen a hole that I had to fill. And you just keep filling this bucket with holes in it, with water, and just more holes keep coming, but you just keep adding more water, more, better, bigger, but it just never gets filled. Because the truth is, you can be happy right now, you can be content right now, you can have the most fulfilling life right now, and live in tranquility right now. It's all in a state of mind, and it's all your choice. It doesn't mean be content with what you have and give up on improving and ambition. You can be happy, but always striving for more. Constant and never-ending improvement. So what you want to do is you want to take yourself out of environments that have low consciousness energy. Think of them almost like demons or spirits that are latching onto you and sucking you like a leech dry of all your high consciousness. Because you'll notice that. You'll be like an energy radiator, just radiating positive energy. When you're a positive person, negative people pick up on that. They'll want to take from you and try to suck you dry of all of your positivity until you have nothing left. You'll find that people are energy like vampires in that way. It's almost like they're possessed by evil entities or something. It's really weird, but this is just the impression that I've gotten. The more I work with myself, the more I surround myself with, toxic shit, or I'm around toxic shit, I'll notice how people react. It's kind of off-putting and scary. They just want to take from you rather than improve themselves, or they just want what you have without having to work for it, without having to sacrifice their short-term earthly pleasures. A flower doesn't grow in a dark room. A flower won't grow in the desert. You got to take it out of an environment that's not conducive to its growth and put it in an environment where it can thrive. Uproot that flower, put it in the proper soil, and fucking thrive. If that's what you gotta do, that's what you gotta do. Like, see where this path in life that you're going is leading you, and realize that you're just gonna be more of that if you keep going down this path. Whereas if you choose to change direction, you could very potentially lead a better, more fulfilling life. Are you becoming the person that you want to be? The person that you envision yourself to be, the best version of yourself? Is this person doing what you're currently doing right now? If not, what would they be doing? Where would they be? What environments would they surround themselves with? What would they do with their free time? What would be their habits, their goals, their ambitions, their values, etc.? And then emulate that and work towards that.